Hey guys, I was getting ready for bed and I checked my email and I have a couple stories from a gentleman who claims to be a corporal, a lance corporal in the US, and I thought I would share. If you guys want me to read your story or your experience, spookynews@yahoo.com. And he titled it The Thing in the Range 800. Lance Corporal James Orditz from 29 Palms Marine Base, California Desert. I don't talk much about this night, but every time I hear the desert wind howl, it takes me back. It was late October and I pulled overnight duty at the Range 800, way out the far northern corner of the base. It's basically nothing but desert mountains and silence out there. My job was to sit in a Humvee with a radio, watch for unauthorized personnel, and log weather conditions every 2 hours. At 0200, I stepped out to stretch my legs. That's when I saw them, footprints in the sand. Not boot prints, barefoot, giant, and weird. 3 long toes, almost reptilian looking, but off. I followed them with my flashlight, and they stopped at the edge of the wire. There were no footprints walking away, just like something just vanished. I radioed in. Sergeant Garza laughed it off. Told me it was probably a coyote or someone messing around, but something felt wrong, like I was being watched. By 0330, the temperature dropped fast, freezing even though it was a desert night. Then the radio crackled, some kind of static, and a voice that wasn't from my unit. Orditz, are you cold? My heart dropped. Orditz, I'm still out here. The voice sounded like my old squad mate, Corporal Ramsey, who died a year ago in an IED blast during training. His body was never recovered. He was also stationed at 29 Palms. We used to joke that he would haunt the desert. I grabbed my NVGs, scanned the horizon, and there it was, a shape standing by the wire. Tall, slouched, moving in this unnatural, jerky way, like it didn't know how to walk right. Its eyes glowed faintly green through the NVGs, and it didn't blink. It just moved. It just stared. I aimed my rifle and shouted out, but it didn't respond. Then it slowly turned and crawled away on all fours, so fast it looked like it glitched. I sat in that Humvee, door locked, rifled up, sweating and freezing at the same time. At sunrise, there was no sign of the footprints, no audio logs on the radio, but they found Ramsey's dog tags buried in the sand near the wire. We hadn't seen those in over a year. I put a transfer request in that same week. Some say the desert plays tricks on your mind, but I know what I saw. So that was the first one. The second one he labeled The Shadow That Walks the Hills. And it says, once again, Lance Corporal James Orditz, 2 weeks after the thing in Range 800. They stuck me on night training patrols after Range 800 incident. Maybe as punishment, maybe because I wouldn't shut up about what I saw. Either way, it meant long marches through dark terrain with only NVGs and a red flashlight. We were doing a routine recon near Gypsum Ridge, just the two of us, me and Private Chin. Radio silence, just checkpoints and grid marks. Quiet until we both heard the rocks sliding, not falling, being tossed. We froze. Then came a long howl. Not like a dog, lower, too deep for anything I know to live out here. Maybe a mountain lion, I whispered, but Chin didn't move. His face was pale under the helmet. There's something in the hills, look. I turned my NVGs to the east ridge, and that's when I saw it. A tall figure walking uphill against the wind, smooth and slow, all black, not heat signature, not human. It turned and looked right at us, except it didn't have a face. Just a blank, black void, like the silhouette of a man cut out of the world. The scrub and stone behind it flickered like a bad TV reception. Then the figure disappeared and instantly reappeared 20 feet closer. We ran. No protocol, no mission, just pure fear. We made it back to the command tent, and they said our GP logs were corrupted and our body cams didn't record anything but static. But Chin, he left the next day. He said his grandfather back in Tawan used to tell him about walking shadows and the guarded cursed ground. He said that he saw the same thing once before in a dream. I wonder what he meant. And that was the end of that one. In my family and my culture, we don't talk about what he is talking about in this story, and I didn't read the story before I read it. We don't say the SW word, because it's like bringing it to you. So I probably wouldn't even have read that one had I known that's what that was. But that, I mean, they're kind of creepy anyway, the whole story. So on to the third one. The Screamer of Johnson Valley. Once again, he said Lance Corporal James Ortis, 1 month after the Shadow Incident off-base operation, night recon drill. They didn't advertise it, but 29 Palms does joint training with special units out in Johnson Valley, massive desert. Oh, Johnson Valley, massive desert. No lights, just rock, sand, and God's silence. We were sent there for a 72-hour recon op. No live fire, just patrol, absorb, report. Second night around 0100, I heard a scream. Not human, not animal. It echoed across the valley like a freight train made of lungs. Deep howling, then high, crackled like a dying elk. Everyone froze, even the corporal leading us. Probably a stray donkey, he muttered, clearly trying to convince himself. They make weird sounds, but I grew up with donkeys. That wasn't it. We started seeing signs the next morning. Rocks stacked weird, balanced in towers, not natural. Tree limbs bent, twisted like crosses stuck in a sand. Huge footprints, bare, 5-toed, at least 18 inches long, tracked near our sleeping gear. One set walking in a perfect line. Then something ripped into our MREs. Thick plastic bags shredded, tossed 20 feet away like garbage. And I don't know if any of you have had an MRE, but those bags are pretty thick. One night, our motion sensors went off near the perimeter. I saw it through the terminals. A massive figure, maybe 8 feet tall, walking upright across the ridge. It paused, turned and looked at us, and just stood there. The thermal image shimmered like the air around it was too hot or not real. It breathed loud enough for us to hear it over the gear. Then it roared. This earth-shaking, throat-tearing scream, and we all hit the deck. I swear it made my chest vibrate. Then command came in by chopper the next morning. They said the tracks were just pranksters or mountain men. But the tracker that came with them wouldn't speak. He just kept looking at the ridge and whispering prayers in Navajo. Before they left, one of the higher-ups said something to my squad leader I'll never forget. If you see it again, don't engage. Don't chase. You don't want to know what happens if it gets mad. And then he left a note saying he has a ton more stories from 29 Palms. So if you guys want to hear them, let me know. I kind of want to hear them, but I kind of don't, because like I said, that one SW word, we don't say that word in my culture, because my grandmother was from the Appalachian Mountains, and there's a lot of stories from her that I still have to do. But I mean, as you can see, it makes me like, I don't get all itchy, because I'm like, no, don't bring it to me. I don't want it. Take it away. So let me know what you guys think. All right. Love you guys. Sweet dreams.